Hello everyone, welcome to Umlazi's Kings Vellatini Stadium. As we've become accustomed to, the East Coast fairly reluctant to bid farewell to summer. It is a very, very warm day in these parts. Despite the overcast conditions, the humidity is off the charts. Although there have been some fairly fierce winds periodically sweeping through this venue over the past couple of hours. But the heat and humidity has not deterred the Lamontville Golden Arrows faithful. This is, in fact, a dial-up fixture, so the chance for one of the home fans today to win 50,000 Rand courtesy of Betway and Sprinise and win as the two sides emerge from the tunnel here, both coming off defeats. Lamontville Golden Arrows absolutely thrashed by Orlando Pirates in Soweto, whilst at the Chatsworth Stadium midweek it was a 1-0 defeat for Durban City, conceding early to Mamelodi Sundowns and not able to recover. We have a fine match in prospect here though today, this afternoon. Tight margins in their previous two matchups, a 1-1 draw in the Betway Premiership earlier this season, and then just over a month ago a Nedbank Cup quarter-final right here in Mlazi. Again 1-1, but that one settled on penalties with City advancing. Let's look at how the two sides line up. Naturally some changes for Arrows after that defeat. Mafuleka is given a rest. Osborne Maluleka is in. Van Roy drops to the bench, whilst Sabia is rotated out of the squad. Ayabulela Makwele is under the weather today. That's a big miss for Lamontville Golden Arrows. Isak Sise, though, returns to the lineup. Tokazani Kumalo is also in, and Nhlanhla Gasa, the youngster, earns his third start of this particular campaign, having played most of his minutes off the bench this season. As for the visiting Durban City, they have made 3 changes from their narrow loss to Mamelodi Sundowns. Spiro Mahlangu and Mbamba drop to the bench. They are without Brooklyn Buchenpoel today. He is suspended for this match following an accumulation of yellow cards. Terence Mashiko, though, is back. He was not eligible to play against his parent club Mamelodi Sundowns last time out. And then Magawana and Maseko have both been restored to the front three that has a more familiar look this afternoon. They will play alongside Mokwena up front. Molobadi was fourth official yesterday out at the Umhlanga Tuesday Sports Complex, but he's in charge of this one. Demokosi Manga and Bongani Matete will be assisting him on the touchlines today as the match referee consults with the two captains, Ayanda Gianni for Lamontville Golden Arrows and Spamantla Manana for the visiting City. Robin Mliti will be looking for a big response from his side. They want to bounce back after that demoralizing defeat against Orlando Pirates. Pitso Tlatla has done a very admirable job since he was installed as head coach following the ill-fated and very brief stint of September Padela, who took over after the departure of Gavin Hunt. So I'll bring in the man alongside me right now, Teko Modise, because we have seen these two sides clash twice this season. Their league clash came on match day 3. That was all the way back in August, and then not so long ago that Nedbank Cup fixture. Tight margins there, and you just wonder whether that influences the preparations of both teams, because neither have really been able to identify any real edge that they have over one another.
Yeah, I think it really does play a little bit of, especially realizing that also, the results are similar, of course, with the cup competition. It end up being in the penalties, but I think maybe the difference between today's game is both of them, they from a defeat that they were outplayed position-wise, scoreline-wise, and this now becomes a game of significance because both teams wants to bounce back into getting good results, but also you have a team that is building up to the final, that is Durban City, that needs to still have a team, and you have Coach Mangob on the other side that wants to finish in top 8, knowing that there's a lot of interesting players within his team. Maybe, you want to finish off a little bit earlier and maybe nice in a nice position so that you know that you start very well next season.
Arrows currently reside just inside the top half. They are in 8th position today. There's no potential for them to climb, but they are susceptible to an overtake from Siwilele. They're currently hosting AmaZulu in a simultaneous kickoff. Incidentally, Durban City will be hoping that Usuthu are not able to come away with any points against Siwilele, because they're currently in 6th, but they could go 4th with a win, as the Lamontville Golden Arrows looking for an early strike here, turned behind by Fezile Taba, who in January made his loan move from Richards Bay permanent. He now belongs to Durban City. They have enjoyed his exploits over the course of this campaign. He was superb, especially in the Carling knockout earlier in the season, the goals that he got. When it comes from Cisse, and again it's Taba front and centre.
Speaking of how brilliant he was in that cup competition, remember scoring a hat-trick?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Defender scoring a hat-trick in that game. It was unbelievable to see, and we also know how strong he is aerially as well, so he will be maybe possibly looking to get into these type of dangerous places and to add numbers inside the box.
We haven't had too many hat-tricks in domestic football this season. Ditejane and Jelimufu King in the Betway Premiership, and then Aba's hat-trick in that Carling knockout encounter against Polokwane City.
We're also waiting for Sokhma Wasa's hat-trick at Stellies, because he's the guy that every season he's been one of those players that actually have a hat-trick in him.
His first ever came against Lamontville Golden Arrows 2 years ago, Mabasa. Arrows over the years have really struggled against Orlando Pirates. It proved to be the case once again on Tuesday at the Orlando Amstel Arena, going down 5-0. It's the first time this season that they've lost by more than 2 goals. The last time that they lost by more than 2 goals was a 3-0 defeat to Orlando Pirates at the end of last season. That defeat a few days ago, their biggest since the 7-1 loss that they suffered in April of 2024. Pirates have now scored 2 or more goals in 8 fixtures running against Arrows, but that perhaps may be the motivation from a player's perspective. What did that do to you, being on the end of a big defeat and then going into the next game?
Yeah, you want to quickly forget about the defeat that you had, but also want to, looking forward to correct those type of mistakes that you faced. But it's just that once you concede, now those thoughts actually start coming back. Like, here we go again. Are we going to be the team that will always concede those type of goals? But then again, you look at the quality between the teams that you're playing against. You actually need to find, or maybe draw some inspiration, so that maybe you can definitely come back. But we know that against Golden Arrows, against Orlando Pirates, a lot of the players didn't come to the park. A lot of players didn't perform very well. So you want to come back into this game and try to perform.
Liam de Kock in your shot is alongside Spamadla and Nana this afternoon. In fact, we'll keep a close eye on what the backline of Durban City actually looks like, with the Zimbabwean Emmanuel Jalai out on the right-hand flank. Mashego has just missed the ball there as the left back, and what looks potentially like a 3.
It is a 3.
Yeah. Now an opportunity to get on the front foot here for the visiting Durban City. Taken off the ball. Madoko Lamuni feeding Isaac Cisse. He in turn has found Nsanhlagasa. Scored his very first goal for Lamontville Golden Arrows against Stellenbosch a few games back. Trying to play it in behind here for Dion, who is offside. He slotted away superbly, but the flag had been very promptly raised. I'd be interested to see exactly how far off he was here. I think it's quite significant.
It is indeed, and if he only hold on to the line, because then he can see the defender just in front of him. He should be using that defender as a line. That was Mngana. Use him as a line so that you can be able to stay onside. But that was a good ball being played by Maluleka. Look at those are the dangers of having 3 at the back and playing with out-on-out wingers like that, because then within the 3 defenders if one striker gets in between, nobody's going to mark him. And if you play this type of balls, it becomes very dangerous.
Junior Dion hasn't scored in his last 3 games since netting a brace and a 2-1 win over Marumo Gallants just about a month ago. Got the better of Gallants on the road. And he might still be top of the goal scoring charts with a dozen goals. Junior Dion, which is far and away his best ever tally in the top flight. But there are several players who are closing in on him at the moment. And when he gets a chance, he has been pretty good at sticking them away this season. Junior Dion.
And also, I think one of his, I know as footballers you always want to try and improve, but we know that he's not a type of player to get involved in terms of build-up, get involved in holding up play, but he always waits for those opportunities. And I guess Golden Arrows needs to create more, and whenever they do create more, he finds himself in good areas to be able to punish. I guess maybe the Tiana Lovo issue maybe becomes the issue, but really, really struggling from a creative point of view.
Tiana Lovo missing his 5th game in a row today since suffering a hamstring injury. In fact, the last game he played was the Nedbank Cup quarter-final against Durban City. So Arrows without Squishy are perhaps not at their best. He is inarguably the best player on their books at the moment.
Yeah.
Here's Seksise. He's been sensational this season for them as well, the Ivorian. His countryman Umar Kamara back in the squad for the first time in a good 15 games or so. He's on the bench today. Another option at centre half. Right now those 2 positions being occupied by almost ever-present Gianni as well as young Mabaso. He's done a stellar job so far, adjusting to life in the top flight. This is De Kock, gets it away. And challenging for that is Gasa, and he's successful. Turned in field by Tukozani Kumalo. Good score against Durban City. Kumalo in that Nedbank Cup quarter-final, approximately 1 minute after being introduced as a sub. Assisted by Ayabulela Makwele, who is, as we mentioned, not available today. Darren Keats has produced some outstanding performances to get Durban City to the Nedbank Cup final, which will be contested at Bulawani's Peter Mokaba Stadium against TS Galaxy. The Rockets have been dreadful in the league, but been reserving all their best performances for the Cup of Dreams of late. Now that's cleverly played to Gasa, not cleared quite yet. Tabunadada gets on it. A lot of composure shown there. Manana feeding him. And after some intricate work to try and play their way out from the back, he has absolutely thumped that away.
Yeah, because of the pressure that Golden Arrows are trying to put immediately after losing the ball, they're trying to counter press. It is a good intent from them, especially from that horrific defeat. Playing at home, you want to have some sort of good intent, and also you're looking at the way also they're moving the ball around. This is the Golden Arrows that we know they were really, really, really outclassed come Tuesday, but they're looking very, very better now. They need to create more goal-scoring opportunities.
Well, it's really been all Arrows at the moment. Now a rare opportunity for Durban City to get forward with Magawana. It's given Mokoena just a little bit too much to do, but they know with Mokoena up front they can always look long. He's won the 7th most aerial duels in the league this season. He's cut out by Terence Mashego, but just moments before something to ignite the home fans. Zwane glides past Jurgens. Back at Lamini. An interesting stat, and perhaps not. Oh,
that's so disrespectful. Whenever they do it like that, with the stats just going through it. But also it happens in football because you're trying to press. You know, you can't be scared to try and defend. but it's a confidence sign that is Golden Arrows. But also maybe from a system point of view, from a technical point of view, you look at how much Durban City are compromised, especially in that midfield. They trying to make sure that they congest that midfield because that's where Golden Arrows become strength. But then they have too many defenders at the back. But once you have the ball, then those front three will be isolated. You're speaking of Mokoena there. He will be the one. Of course, they'll be maybe be the receiver of those type of balls. But yet again, his qualities are on the ground. You don't want him to be able to fight for the balls in area. So Tawanodada need to push a little bit forward with Maseko and Makawana as well.
And they are without Atini Jodwana, who this season has really played that role, doing the things that Yansang players usually do. He's recovered the ball more often than any outfield player in the entire Betway Premiership, and he's won the 4th most tackles this season, 2nd most of any midfielder. That's a nice ball played into the path there of Cisse. A little bit too much on it.
Yeah, he did indeed. But you can see the idea as well, because the spaces are always going to be open on the side with the Golden Arrows as well. With those midfielders that are making third man run, they're always going to find the type of space. But Cisse, they're trying to play the ball a little bit earlier to Kumalo inside the box.
Coach not happy. The finer details not being observed. Gianni stepping in. There's only 2 players this season who have completed more successful passes than Gianni in the entire division. Stop in play. And Osborne Maduleke is down. Showing evidence to the referee of the, and it's clear. And for Mafuleke today is Osborne Maluleke. Jurgens. Oh, one from Nodada, and that deflection of Ranana, potentially a very critical one that looked destined to hit the target.
It did. Look at again, you know, they're putting pressure on Jurgens there with Tabanodada. They win the ball in and around the areas where really they need to be able to punish in those type of areas that is Gaza. But you can see the idea that deflection actually really helped Durban City.
So, a corner for Lamontville Golden Arrows. They've managed the 3rd most successful corners into the box this season in the Betway Prem. It's to be delivered by Mawaso, away from Mokoena. Awkward bounce for Cisse. Battling there with Magawana. Dlamini. Clipped forward delightfully. Still might fall kindly for them. Junior Dion trying to sort his feet out. Pressure on him by Fizili Khaba. Zwane. And it comes once again into the clutches of Darren Keats.
Good play by... Look at those statement run that they do. It's becoming very difficult to be able to defend them, because then you're in a straight line. Somebody makes that run from a deep end with a good ball being played over the top. Always very dangerous to defend.
Arrows finding a lot of success at the moment. Here's Isak Cisse. Couldn't control it as neatly as he might have liked. He is very capable of shooting from that kind of distance. Had he been able to perhaps set the ball a little better as he received it.
A ball that wasn't played.
Wow. Yeah, it's the kind of delivery that just needs a flick off the top of the head, and that one goes sailing over Darren Keats. Darren Keats, by the way, has made the 5th most saves in the league this season. Foot on the ball for Keats. Looks long. Still, I think the only keeper in the division who has an assist this season. Cannons has been in the halls. Jalai finding Jurgens, now De Kock having to step in. Jalai again. He's featured in every single match since his arrival. As the January recruit, Emmanuel Jalai. Played left back against Mamelodi Sundowns in the absence of Terence Mashiko. Now switching to his preferred right back position. Cise's left it behind. Down the line now for Magawana. Continues to come inside, wants the return. It's a scrappy one, but he does get it back. A lunge from Gianni. It's in immediate danger, but still the visitors on the ball. All the while, Tabunadada outside of your picture is down.
There's Chezi, late tackle on top of Tabunadada's foot. Those ones are always very, very difficult. We're surprised as to then what happened to Tabo, because the play went on, and he's not a type of player that will just stay down. Maybe if you know, just a smaller tackle, because he knows that he hasn't been a regular rather also in the team. He comes on sometimes in the substitution, so he knows that having that starting berth helps him to get more game time, because he's very experienced, especially in that midfield, be able to help the Jurgens in that midfield, and the Masakos to Makawana. So he's very, very important, especially defending, because he knows how to position himself very well down the line.
He's back on his feet. Gulagani Shezi is the first player to be booked. To restart play with a long throw. And in it comes, and it's fairly deep as well. Zwane took too long to clear. Now De Kock. It's gone all the way through to goalkeeper Mayoba. Conceded an own goal, one of the 5 goals conceded against Orlando Pirates. As another ball played deep from wide is collected by Keat. And I mentioned that own goal because Arrows have conceded the most own goals of any team in the Betway Premier this season, 3 in total.
And also, you remember as well, Coach Manglova spoke about how early on into the season how they had to work on their defensive line because they struggled a little bit, and ever since they found a little bit of combination, especially that centre back trade they spoke about earlier, Mabasa and Gian, very, very solid with Shezi on the right hand side as well.
Shezi sets it back for Cise. Gianni now. Into the opposition half, floating it forward for Zwane. City will be keen to enjoy a little bit more possession than they did against Mamelodi Sundowns. They had just under 23% of the ball. Mashir. Anana. Thumped clear. There's only 3 players this season who've made more clearances than Spamantla Nana. He is a no-nonsense defender. When the situation calls for it, when there's a little bit of space, when there's very little pressure, he can show some composure. But otherwise, that's his go-to.
We always say that whenever you have a 2 centre-back pairing, it's highly unlikely that you have 2 comfortable centre-back pairing on the ball. So one has to be the one that really enjoys marking, and the other one more comfortable. Whenever you're trying to build up, he's the one that you go to. So he is one of those players as well that likes those duels. Maybe a little bit of under pressure, maybe clears the ball, but maybe as a pressing trap from a Golden House point of view as well. They might use that once he gets into the ball, put pressure on him to try and win the ball back.
Pinged to the flank by Darren Keats. Shekho. You speak about Anana. He formed a really nice partnership with Mfanafuti Mkhize, who is still out at the moment. Mkhize came through the Lamontville Golden Arrows development ranks, played Diski Challenge for them 2017-18 and 2018-19 before moving on. Durban City actually the 5th KZN-based club that Mkhize has turned out for, but still injured at the moment. And between the 2 of them, they had made the 5th and 6th most headed clearances this season. So they are the kind of centre-half pairing that more often than not will just play safety first. But Mkhize also capable at left back, a very physical player. A big miss for them. Mistake by Cisse. Dada. Marijuana can't latch onto it. Modada. Mashiko on the move. Oh, he floated it into space for Samkelo Maseko, but even though he stretched forward, couldn't make contact.
They couldn't indeed. A double play. It's a beautiful ball over the top there for Masheko, who really plays as a wing back, finding space behind Shezi. Unfortunately today he couldn't get Maseko inside the box.
And that's what the 3 at the back gives them. The forwards, Mashiko and Jalai, those opportunities to get into advanced areas. They just have to make sure that they are well positioned when Arrows get on the front foot, which is the case now. Joined from Dynamos in January, did Jalai. Sladlagas gets the return. Good and tight spaces, and still Gassa. Now he's found Cisse. Oh, lovely ball for Shezi. Trying to scrape it into the box, but City clear their lines through, not bad.
You can see how difficult it is to be able to defend those third-man run. Shezi here was the one that took out the ball just over the line because of the pass that was done there by Cisse. Very good ball, very good attacking systems from Golden Arrows.
Now Cisse, too long for Dion. Lamontville Golden Arrows playing at home for the 12th time in the Betway Premiership this season. Mangoba has guided them to 6 wins and 2 draws, just the 3 defeats. It's actually the first time since the 2019-20 season that Arrows have managed 6 home wins in a single league campaign, although in that particular season their last 3 home matches were home matches in name only. They played a neutral venue in Gauteng, if you remember that bio bubble, and they didn't win any of them. The last time they managed more than 6 home wins in a season was 2016-17, 7 home wins. So many were back then to equal that particular mark.
I also remember before Coach Mangoba came through, they also used to use the other stadium, was in Mpumalanga Stadium.
Indeed,
Yeah,
in
so
Hammersdale they had a very, very poor record in
Yeah.
Hammersdale over the last 2 seasons. So they switched back to Kings Willetini Stadium has really served them quite well. Collected 20 points at home already this season. Lamontville Golden Arrows only managed 17 at home last season. And they've been quite defensively on their own patch. Only Pirates and Sibilele as well as Skakuni United have conceded fewer goals at home this season than the Stadium. Entirely different story on the road. There is not a single team in the Betway Premiership who have conceded more away goals than Arrows. 24 times they have conceded on the road this season.
I wonder if, from an analytic point of view, what would be the course of going away, always being in that type of position, or always maybe carrying that type of a stat to be able to concede, whereas at home you're a little bit better. So I just wonder, see, then how then as a coach, that is Coach Mangoba be able to deal with that and trying to rectify that.
Another down, so I'll give you a stat that perhaps might help you dissect that. They're one of very few teams this season, Arrows, who actually have had a larger share of possession on the road, where they've done very poorly, than at home. So they have a smaller amount of possession, average possession, here at home than they do away. And maybe it comes down to playing their style of football at home. You would always expect, conventional wisdom says at home you play. But that's not the way Arrows do things. They like to absorb pressure. They like to hit on the brakes. So Durban City as well, actually. They're also one of just 4 teams who they have a larger share of possession away than they do at home.
As you rightfully say, like coaches will encourage you whenever you're playing at home, you need to play because you've got your home fans around you. Surroundings are very familiar, so you want to put the ball on the ground and impose yourself. But away game, it's how you adjust to the conditions, how you adjust to the team that eventually then needs to come out and maybe, put you under pressure and possibly utilize the spaces that they create behind.
Well, some AmaZulu fans, they still wanted to enjoy the football. They weren't willing to travel to watch AmaZulu in action against Sibilele. Latest update we're getting from that one, still 0-0 as it is here. Coming upon the half-hour mark. Not all too much to speak of in terms of chances on goal. And their match day 3 meeting back in August, Arrows scored with their only shots on target. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant work. And there will be a corner for the hosts. Gasa turning inside and out.
Yeah, I thought the second turn, this one here, could have played the ball with his left inside the box. He allowed Jurgens to be able to come back and return and recover from that.
Now. Shezi back to Mayowa. Forward by by the Namibian. Dada under it. De Kock helps it along. Now Dlamini, last touch. Space for Cisse, plenty of space here for the young Ivorian to exploit. To ensure that Arrows get nothing out of this situation. Punted forward for Maseko. Back with Abafana Bestender now.
I think they clashed there, they collided. I think it's the knee that went against each other, because it was some sort of an attack, a ball that was being played for Mabasa. I think it just maybe his eyes off the ball a little bit, because there was Malulek on the left hand side. But it just shows you then a centre back that goes high in that position to find himself in the type of position. It just shows you that the dominance that Golden Arrows are having, just to put pressure on Durban City to defend in their own half and stay there.
Betway ambassadors, Majoro and Shlopo Kekana. As mentioned today, a dial-up fixture. So the potential for one Arrows fan to walk away 50,000 Rand richer. We'll find out who gets that big prize pot around about the 60-minute mark today. For Kadoria, a man who bankrolls this ambitious Durban City project, and man, they are doing well in their debut season in the top flight. Well, that's nicely worked into the path of Jurgens. The Arrows eventually get it away. Previous league meeting was already 1-0 to City. Scored after 10 minutes. Ball floated in. Jerome Carlser with an awkward header that looped over the goalkeeper, but they would equalise just before the half-time break, courtesy of Junior Dion. Comfortably collected by Maova. And in that game, Junior Dion's goal, a lovely, well-taken goal, little chip into the bottom corner, was Arrow's only shot on target. In the game where they only had 5 shots in total, Durban City had plenty more, 15 shots, 5 of them were blocked. Yes, the most blocked shots, or most shots they've had blocked in any given game this season. Unsurprising though, coming up against an Arrows team who have Gianni at the back. He's made more blocks than any other player.
He's forever there.
He is always there, well positioned. Panafutu Mkize hit the woodwork in that particular game. Getting it away from danger, Arrows. Dion, Cisse. The ball might just hold up on the turf, and has for Gasa. Gliding past de Kock, but knocking it just a little too far ahead. And Mashiko there to clear.
I just wonder, because of the heat that we have, I just just curious as to then how much the players is struggling, because we know that as much as this pitch can look small, but it is very wide. And you look at also how, you know, both teams are trying to play out. I think there's a lot of look at Golden Arrows, whenever there's a play out, you can see the players how they're trying to recover, you know, just catch their breath. And there's a type of tackles that we will see from the first minutes, those type of late tackles. I guess that's what the derby brings. Everyone wants to be there and be counted for and trying to win the game.
So, Aba is the second player after Shezi to go into the book. Scored in the Nedbank Cup quarterfinal meeting last month. Again, Durban City opening the scoring in that particular game. Aba finding the back of the net, 36 minutes in now. Opportunity as Maseko gets it, and again, still he continues on. Maseko has options, trying to go it alone, and Arrows have been able to thwart him at the last moment. Now they in turn charge upfield. De Kock recovers it. Banana. De Kock again. Given away. Kumalo. For Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put Arrows in front.
Brilliant play from Golden Arrows. We spoke about how then they're able to counter press and win the ball back. In this instance here, Durban City trying to play back, but Golden Arrows within the numbers that they have, Gasa making sure that he goes down the line, bring the balls back. Cisse finds himself in and around that, you know, penalty spot, and they use the right technique to be able to just to put the ball in the back of the net. And I'm sure Durban City could have done better until we're defending, because they can see they were under pressure. They could have cleared the ball, but yet again, Golden Arrows making sure that they win the ball back higher up the pitch.
Well, that's a way to respond to a big defeat, and Isak Cisse restored to the lineup, restores himself to the score sheet for the first time since November. And he had gone through a little bit of a hot streak. He scored 3 goals in the space of 3 games. And hadn't managed to net since the Carling knockout penalty shootout loss to Marumo Gallants at the beginning of November. So for the first time against, oh, that is nasty. Gianni's been clattered by his own goalkeeper. Gloves to the side of the skull, it looks like. And yes, they do have Mokamara back on the bench for the first time, but would not want to call upon him just yet, if at all. A man who's been out for the last 10 matches, Kamara.
And Grant, before you look at the incident just before Golden Arrows scored the goal, they really lost. Durban City had an opportunity to actually go score with Gianni maybe in that tackle, but look at Gasa with the composure. We spoke about those third man run of the midfielders that the Golden Arrows have. You're always going to find those type of spaces because you're having 3 that are central from Durban City midfielder. There's always going to be those type of pockets, and how Golden Arrows play, they want to play in between those pockets. Cisse finds himself there, but that was an opportunity there with Maseko that he could have actually went on to be able to score, because Mabaso lost the ball in the midfield. It was only Gianni, 2v1. They could have actually utilized that, but after losing that ball, this is where it came to.
And Gianni is back up, which is great news from an Arrows perspective. Jurgens. Good switch. Magawana. He's clipped it towards the back post. Magawana was the man to set up Aba for the opener in their Nedbank Cup match. It's a good route to goal for Durban City. Arrows have conceded 7 headed goals this season. It's jointly the most, along with struggling TS Galaxy. Strong header clear by Jiang. Trying to illustrate perhaps that he's unaffected by the earlier incident. Pushing forward nicely by Hanana, and Mokoena has gone and given that away. They have it back though through Jalai. On the outside, players waiting here. Deflected behind Mokwena's effort, so corner to come.
You spoke earlier on Sweden. There will be the type of spaces that Golden Arrows will leave behind, especially when you're playing with the 3-5-2 system that is Durban City. Find July out wide there, trying to bring the ball in, but always thought with Mokoena always playing as a 10 is always more dangerous than it is when you're playing as a striker. And you have maybe let's see a Kwapeng on the bench that might be the player maybe to hold on to the ball, maybe trouble Golden Arrows area as well.
So in it comes. There's another opportunity for Durban City to exploit Arrows' aerial frailties, but Arrows have got it away, and Cisse further his man forward, losing out. That screws off the foot of Darren Keat. Previous league meeting, Durban City attempted 15 shots. There have only been 2 instances this season where they've actually managed more, but so far, the first half drawing to a close here. They're really yet to trouble Mayoba in any true sense. By the way, Sivilele up against Amazulu, so it's good news for Durban City, not so much for Lamontville Golden Arrows, but at the moment it doesn't matter for Abafana Bestende because they're doing what they need to do. But it does mean that if things stay the same there, Durban City would have an opportunity to go above Amazulu and into 4th place. With Skukuni United still to play later on. Skukuni hosting Magesi in a game that many expect them to win. Mashego trying to curl it into space for Mokoena. This time he's unable to latch onto it in the box. Mokoena, who has not really come to life in this match yet. There's actually only 3 players in the division who've attempted more shots than Mokoena this season. For now though, we need to do some defensive work. Santle Zwane, they tried to feign the shots, and in the end, Cisse drives it wide. He almost tricked himself, Zwane.
Yeah, I think Zwane, they will be disappointed with himself. It's such a brilliant counter-attack. He could have done better, but look at the good technique there. Cisse, unfortunately, couldn't hit the target.
So 3 of 4 goals at the Umhlatuze Sports Complex yesterday evening scored from outside the box.
Are we going to be spoiled by one at least tonight, today, after experiencing what happened last night?
Dion for Zwane. some of the non-playing personnel. Brandon Theron, Keenan Phillips. Maklada is there. Shezi. Awkward for Nana, but he does get it away from danger. Jurgens now. Modada skips it cleverly. Jalai goes on a little dart, gets away from Cisse. Maseko. Still Maseko. Modada skipped it over.
See his body positioning as well. The moment he took that shot, he just took the ball underneath. That's why he couldn't control it to where he wanted it to take, but he finds himself in the right area there, Thabo Nodata.
Both these sides have only won one of the 4 KZN derbies they've been involved in this season. AmaZulu have been the team in command when it comes to provincial rivalries in the Betway Premiership with 3 wins. But it's on these 2 that we focus now, and it is Arrows who, for the first time ever, have taken the lead against Durban City, having twice gone behind in their 2 previous fixtures in all competitions this season. Isak Cisse scoring for the first time since November. Very, very well taken goal, and credit as well to Nhlanhla Gasa, 1 assist.
What an assist from Gasa, very composed, very intentional as well from Golden Arrows, pressing high up, showing good intention as to them to return to the winning ways, and they're really, really showing it. They're finding space in that midfield, but good composure from Gasa to find Cisse in the box.
Well, Arrows' efforts to solidify their spot in the top 8 going swimmingly at the moment. Another 45 minutes to navigate, but they have the lead after the first half. It is 1-0.
On the halfway stage in the contest between Arrows and Durban City, obviously we did say there would be a cooling break in this particular game, but just to update everyone at home, it has cooled down quite considerably. As you can see, my jacket is back on. That means that it's a lot better, and the match commissioner cancelled the cooling breaks in each half. Now the big talking points really, Arrows bossing the game at the moment, lots of frustration on the bench of Durban City. There was even a moment where Coach Pisto Zlatla even referred to one of the players and said, listen, Puma, because really I need a little bit more desire with regards to the performance out there. So lots to play for Durban City, but at the halfway stage it is Arrows in charge, and the weather a lot better in terms of just the humidity and the heat here in Durban.
At the last moment. Now they in turn charge upfield. De Kock recovers it. Banana. De Kock again. Given away. Kumalo. For Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows in front.
Able to counter press and win the ball back. In this instance here, Durban City trying to play back, but Golden Arrows, within the numbers that they have, Gasa making sure that he goes down the line, bring the balls back. Cisse finds himself in and around that, penalty spot, and he used the right technique to be able to just to put the ball in the back of the net. And I'm sure Durban City could have done better in terms of defending, because they can see they were under pressure. They could have cleared the ball, but yet again, Golden
At the last moment. Now they in turn charge upfield. Tekok recovers it. Banana. Tekok again. Given away. Kumalo. For Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows in front. At the last moment. Now they in turn charge upfield. Tekok recovers it. Banana. Tekok again. Given away. Kumalo. For Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows. At the last moment. Now they in turn charge upfield. Tekok recovers it. Banana. Tekok again. Given away. Kumalo for Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows in front. Moment. Now they in turn charge upfield. Tekok recovers it. Banana. Tekok again. Given away. Kumalo. For Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows in front.
brilliant play from Golden Arrows. We spoke about
Kumalo for Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows in front. Covers it. Banana. Tekok again. Given away. Kumalo for Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb. Banana. Tekok again. Given away. Kumalo for Gasa. Brilliant setback. Oh! Cisse with a superb finish to put arrows in front. Lamontville Golden Arrows have the edge over Durban City in KZN Derby number 10 in the Betway Premiership this season. Good news for Abafana Bestenda because characteristically when they do take the lead they very seldom relinquish it. They have avoided defeat in the last 7 matches when scoring first. You have to go all the way back to mid-September, the last time they opened the scoring and went on to lose. That was against Polokwane City in a match where they actually had goalkeeper Ngobo sent off and conceded 2 goals, went down to 10 men. So a unique circumstance that time around. And Durban City this season have not done particularly well when conceding first. They last came back to get victory all the way back in September, and that was against lowly Magesi FC. It's Cisse who has given Arrows the advantage, and Durban City are looking to respond. A couple of changes in the offing, Sifumba and Jean Luamba. And we will learn together exactly who will be making way. So Liam de Kock amongst those being sacrificed speaks to a more attacking approach that they'll be looking to take in this second period. And I believe the other player that has not re-emerged from the tunnel is Maseko. So back up and running. Durban City chasing the game. Unique situation for them. 2 previous encounters, it has been City who've taken the lead. Immediately involved is Sifumba. And Maseko, or rather Mokoena, driving forward, dispossessed. The goal scorer, Cisse, under pressure from substitute Lubamba. And we have seen subs come onto the field and make an impact in this tie. Previously mentioned that Tokozani Kumalo came on, scored after a minute after coming on in Nedbank Cup quarter-final encounter last month. Went from hero to villain in that particular game though, after seeing his penalty saved by Darren Keats in the shootout, before ultimately Durban City won that shootout with Ayanda Gianni missing his spot kick. This league game, it will be settled in 90 minutes.
And you're looking at the subs. I think they resorted back to the 4 with de Kock coming out. You know, with Gaba now coming back in that centre back pairing with Nganana rather. And then they'll have Sifumba, maybe one of the 3 in the midfield. Mokoena moving slightly to the right, and then we spoke about maybe having a big boy as a striker to be able to hold on to the balls, and that's what Luamamba will be able to do for Durban City.
It's 1-0 currently, and 1-0 has been the most common scoreline in KZN derbies this season. 9 previously, 6 of those have produced a winner. 4 of those wins have been by exactly 1-0. 5 of the wins have been by a 1-goal margin. There's actually only been 1 instance where a team has won by a bigger margin than 1 goal in the KZN derby this season. It was Richards Bay's 2-0 home win over AmaZulu at the end of November. There have only been 3 KZN derbies this season that have seen both sides get on the score sheet. That's not particularly encouraging for Durban City. Aber finds Mashego, and now it's Magawana. A combination with Sifumba is really getting involved. Magawana Looking better for the visitors. Been very goal shy away from home this season, but that's a good little exchange on the edge of the area eventually does come to nothing.
And you can see now they're starting to play with Fulmer getting involved. Very clever on the ball, very composed, has an eye for different type of ranges of passes as well. He'll be looking to get more of him on the ball to try and create goal scoring opportunities.
4th fewest goals scored on the road this season. Durban City only 7 across their previous 11 away matches this campaign. It's clever. Able to get in that cross was Mashego, and he's stolen the ball away, but to be a free kick for Arrows. Only 1 shot on target apiece for these sides in the first half. Arrows scored at theirs. For Durban City, at least it is an improvement on the game against Mamelodi Sundowns, when they were restricted to 0 shots on target for the 3rd time this season, in fact. We are entering into a period, though, where Durban City, the quarter-hour period following the interval, there is not a single team in the division that has scored more goals than Durban City over this 15-minute period. 6 in total. They also have conceded none from 46 minutes to the hour mark. So generally, they come out of the interval very strong.
You can see also maybe also that also qualifies or maybe echoes the changes that they've made to try and get back to the game, maybe knowing that they're very strong when it comes second half for the first 15 or 20 minutes.
For Banobaso, for Samson Zwane, stolen away from Jalai. Dada. Magawana. Pushing on his outside. Feeding Mashego, takes it on first time. Back with Magawana. No Dada. Jürgens starting into space. And a cut out from Cisse. Promptly given away. Jürgens. Looking much better from City. Cisse. Well offside is Durban Komalo. He didn't even go in pursuit of that ball, realizing that he had strayed.
That's the incident that the ref maybe allowed the play to go on.
Gassa going down on the challenge from Jürgens. He's getting a bit of talking to now. Zwane. Gassa. As he laid for Shezi, first time shot. And blazed over by Cisse on the follow-up.
Yes, he's making sure that whenever the team pushes up, he gets into those type of areas just outside the box, adding numbers going forward, hoping that there will be some sort of a cutback like he scored in the first half, having shots. But there in that instance, I think he could have applied a little bit of composure, a little bit to maybe get a touch and set yourself up very nicely.
Arrows determined to get back to winning ways. Before that defeat to Orlando Pirates, they were unbeaten in 3 with 2 victories. Also unbeaten in 3 at home. Dada. Magawana. It's dropping a lot deeper than we saw in the first half. That's of course to accommodate the inclusion of Sifumba and Lubamba a little further up the field. Quena. Magawana working it out wide. Lubamba is trying to drill that cross in. It's a good block from Shezi.
Yeah, good intention there with Durban City. Playing more on the Golden Arrows half, adding more numbers, making sure that Golden Arrows, whenever they're trying to play out, there is enough numbers around the ball to win the ball back and still apply pressure going forward.
Jalai wants to let this run for a corner and does. So yet again, chance to exploit Arrow's perceived aerial weaknesses. Durban City pretty good with corners this season. Second most successful corners played directly into the box in the Betway Premiership. Out-swinging take from Magawana. Well attacked by Junior Dion to get it clear, and then so decent hit from Sifumba. He claims the deflection. Referee Nkolobadi agrees.
He's been more on the ball, getting more involved. With that touch, he had to really take a shot a little bit quicker, a bit sooner, because of all the players who was putting pressure on him.
Magawana. A fairly decent take. Sifumba picks it up. Gianni. Sheffield back to Keats. Threaded through for Sifumba. Now it's broken for Lubamba. Mokoena on the move, just over his head. City have got the bulk of their points at home this season, 23. Just 12 coming on the road this campaign. Oh, there's a lot of space here. Can they find the right ball? It's again been played in with plenty of pace from the substitutes. Lubamba, perhaps not with enough care.
Could have actually looked up inside the box to see as to then who was there. Just drilled it in there. But he possibly could have delayed 1 or 2 seconds. Would have possibly spotted one of the teammates inside the box, or even delay me for an extra run if there's nobody inside the box.
Delai for Magawana, Nando Dada, Masheko. Mokoena. Oh! Well, the chance materialized, fell for Lubamba, weak effort. And Mailva makes a very routine save.
Indeed, I think with Mokoena as well, that touch they really didn't get the touch that he needed. With a team shot, Mailva really needed to make that type of save, but you can see they also granted the intention from Durban City. Getting inside the box a little bit sooner out in the second half, good intention, putting pressure or Golden Arrows. They need to get that equalizer as soon as possible.
Back to Aba. Scored almost into an empty net last month in the Nedbank Cup. He was so well set up by Magawana, he could take a touch and then blast it in.
Could have been a wheeler.
Yeah. Can Durban City do what Arrows have twice done to them and equalise? So some changes being prepared. Looks like triple alteration. Some very impactful players about to come on. Sithole has been sensational off the bench this season, and he proved it against Sekhukhune United 2 games back, scoring the winner deep into the game, inside the final 10 minutes. Unorthodox from Jurgens to win it, but it's here with Mokoena, sets it up. Oh! Brilliant block. Almost looked like Durban City were going to score a carbon copy of Arrow's first half goal.
It was a common copy indeed. Good ball being played in the penalty spot. The Shazy coming in to make sure that he blocked that ball, nearly resulting to a goal there by Makawane.
Makawane takes the resultant corner. Get a second opportunity to deliver here. He feeds it to Jalai. Couldn't dig out an effective cross. Great pressure since the restart from Durban City.
I mean, in the first half, they're the ones who were struggling to find solutions in that high press that Golden Arrows was applying. Now the second half, Golden Arrows are the ones that they need to find those type of solutions, because Durban City are putting pressure.
Hung up really high there by Jurgens. Goalkeeper Mayova impeded. So Arrows will get their chance to make their subs. Santlagasa set up the day's only goal so far. He'll be making way alongside Tukuzani Kumalo. Sithole coming on, a big presence of Lungelo Nguse as well. Here's another look at exactly how Gasa contributed to the scoreline, setting up Cisse. And Cisse also making way. This is the introduction of Tukuzani Lukele. Durban City having made 2 changes at the break, bring on Tembu. Lamini. Goes down just inside the box. So whilst the referees sorting out some on-field issues. Handbags out on the touchline as well. And both Mangolan Miti and Ron Fernandez, though, have now retreated to the dugout, having had a little go at each other. Yeah, that's what it's about.
He's lucky there. Chivi's still on the push. That is Dava. The referee spotted those ones we've seen. Those type of tackles been punished before.
Ongeziwe Sithole will leave the Kings Villatini Stadium 50,000 Rand richer. I must say, very, very impressive outfit. So courtesy of Betway, Sibonisa and Win. She will be having a lovely day, regardless of whether her team are able to hang on to this lead or not. Bukele, dispossessed. Durban City with a real opportunity here. Lubamba leaving it behind. Pounced upon by Mashiko. Magawana looking for an option. Magawana again. Oh, doesn't quite come off for Modada.
And also, I mean, look at where he was traveling with the ball. Why would you want to, you know, backheel the ball, you know, away from the ball? And I think maybe just having that extra touch could have actually had an opportunity to score.
Scraped away by Jiang. Bukele. Again, Magawana is quickly upon him. Magawana, oh, excuse horribly off his boot, but I think he had been fouled. And indeed, it is a direct free kick for Durban City in a great position.
Yeah, it is a free kick in a great position indeed. Yeah, you can see Sitole being the one that really fouled Magawana there. So let's see as to then Durban City, can they utilize this type of set piece with all the big boys possibly lurking at the far post, where Gaba can possibly become a threat if the ball isn't played nicely, to be able to maybe just bring it in where you can see you find Luamba inside the box as well.
The Arrows have given away the third fewest fouls this season, but this is a dangerous one to concede. Durban City now have an opportunity, a side that has scored 75% of their goals in the second half this season. 25 minutes to go. The effort is over the top from Sifumba in a season where there's only been 5 direct free kick goals scored.
I can see the ball kept on rising. It didn't dip the way that he wanted.
It was such a great position. They had to take it on, but Arrows have actually been very susceptible to non-direct free kick goals, so balls delivered into the box. There's no other side that have conceded as many from free kicks this season. And then Arrows, 5 in total. Junior Temple is fouled on the flank. Another change with Obeko Dlamini making way for Nsomi. Oh, Bukele has gone in hard there.
Also, I don't think it is intentional. Oh.
Well, you would have heard the crowd and not been aware of exactly why they all reacted like that, as we show some concern for both players down, Mashiko in particular. But as the medical staff raced on to provide assistance, all of the medical supplies went flying.
And he still kept on going.
Yeah, professional.
Professional indeed.
by his own bag. In the foreground, pensive. Some blood alongside him. He's already made 4 changes. It's Kumara. Looks like he's being prepared. Long-awaited return. Kelly looking a little bleary-eyed. So both sides operating with 10 men at the moment. That's clever. And then the pass certainly does not match. Another free kick given away.
Durban City still fighting that type of pressure that they started with. Good skill here by Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Winning that free kick, and they need to engage those big players inside the box. They need a good delivery inside there, just to try to get back into the game and get that equalizer that they want.
Jurgens trying to walk it off. This is where Arrows have been hurt many times before. Jurgens from some distance out, doesn't hit the target. So we saw Kumara being prepared. Now we learn that he's coming on for Junior Dion. So he will not have an opportunity to stretch his advantage at the top of the goal scoring charts. Will Dion and Kumara, having missed the last 10 games in succession, finally back on the pitch for Lamontville Golden Arrows.
And you can see also Dion limping because of that tackle that was made a little bit earlier there by Gaba. Maybe that's the reason why also, but maybe also changing of legs, making sure that you can see that maybe the team also in the second half is not really getting to the rim that they want.
Yeah.
It's consolidating the points that you have right now, or the scoreline rather.
They're on the back foot. They do have the lead, and they have a very capable striker in the form of Nguse to occupy the attentions of the Durban City backline. No Dada. Out off from Somi. Aba. Banana. Jalai receiving from Kaba. The challenge. Eventually coming in successfully from Osborne Maluleke.
Jalai trying to force matters here. Winning another set piece again in the Golden Arrows half. They've been struggling to put in the good delivery inside the box because they make it very easy for Golden Arrows to be able to clear that. You can see also with all the substitutions that have made, because of the legs, they're running short of legs, they want to put more energy.
Sifumba's take. Gianni clears. Terence Mashir works it out wide. Durban City have suddenly turned the tide in this second half. In the first period, it was Lamontville Golden Arrows, 56% of the possession. Mayova comfortable under that high ball.
I guess it is a game of two halves, when one was dominating in the first half, second half was Durban City. But also the previous games, 2 games that they played, rather separate games that they played, maybe took a toll from the legs itself and really showed. Also the weather as well is not kind today, so when you're in the back foot you need fresh legs to be able to, you know, cover ground and be able to consolidate the lead that you have. So advantage it is on the Citizens, but they need to get back into the game. They need to find ways as to then how then they create at least the clearest goal scoring opportunity, just to force over there to make a couple of saves that he hasn't done so far.
Modada. Pele was quickly upon him, but Durban City have retained possession here. Jalai. Forward inaccurately by Raba. Take, and he's been able to set up Sithole, driving forward. Yes, Sithole! Great save from Darren Keat. The last line of defence, and then the veteran stopper, one-on-one with Sithole.
Always, whenever he's been called upon by his Keat, being able to pull up those type of saves with his experience, but Sithole there could have done better. He fought very nicely. Look at the ball also that was distributed as well from Maova.
Yeah, and the great take by Nguse.
Yeah.
Malubamba doesn't get a chance to fire off a shot. Shares is there. Frustration in the Arrows dugout.
Yeah, look at that touch, 2v2.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how he finds space. Now it is, look, he's alone. Defenders are just behind. He could have done better there.
Lifted in, no. Well, it's straight at Mayova. Makes a comfortable save in the end, but Anana battling brilliantly to win that in the air.
Yeah, it was a great hit indeed, finding space inside the box. Good position there from Mayova.
Jurgens. Away by Raba, off the feet of Sithole.
Look at, for a second there he was alone. I think maybe he was rushing just to get it on and be able to finish.
Nguse. Just possessed, and Jurgens finding Mashiko. Nodada. Jurgens. And it is an Arrows throw-in. We've seen some wild finishes involving Arrows this season. We've just entered into the final quarter hour of the match. Only Pirates and Sundowns have scored more goals in the final 15 minutes of matches this season than Arrows have. And there are only 3 teams in the division that have conceded more in the final 15 minutes than Antofagasta Stende. So they are involved in a hell of a lot of goals from 75 minutes onwards. Let's get a bit lucky there. Clear foul. I want to take it quickly. But Olabadi first must dish the cards. Mawaso running away from the scene of the crime.
Yeah, he's running away. Committed there. realized that he was late, high up the pitch. Taking one for the team there.
Anana. Mashiko moved on nicely by Sifumba for Mashiko again. Continues on. Tembu unable to latch onto the edge of the area. Nadada forwards. Jalai. Kanodia's team still trail. And they are without possession. As Lukele goes on the charge, Sifumba will beat him to it. Anana. Mashir. Sifumba. Good ball in! Oh. And Lubamba not able to direct his header goalwards. He's had a couple of chances in the air now.
He has indeed. He's been some sort of a problem inside the box. The good ball been played by Sifumba with his left foot. Lubamba couldn't get the connection there. Just braces his air a little bit. He makes those type of runs that are very difficult for any defender to stop.
So a chance now in the final 10 minutes for Letia Kwapeng on for Terence Mashiko. Have to throw caution to the wind. Shezi and Magawana tangle.
Now Arrows granted need to find a way to control the tempo of the game. They need to find a way to get back to the first 15-20 minutes of the game where they really dominated possession, because you can see the type of substitution that Durban City is making. Very intentional with Kwapeng, who's going to partner Luamba. There's two strikers who will put those balls inside the box. Golden Arrows needs to be more composed on possession of the ball, just to deny CT to create opportunities.
Jurgens, Sifumba. Getting away from one and another. Bamba, Sifumba. Magawan. Good cutout. Nicely judged there by Maluleke. Now Sitole, what a delightful ball into the path of Zwane. And eventually several players caught him up. He's continued on. Zwane! My goodness, how to describe that?
Very difficult, because I thought he lost the ball here. It seems like he ran out of ideas, but then again, he just loses the ball there to force Darren Key to make a save.
Well, the way Sitole freed him was absolutely delightful.
It was indeed.
Nana getting a talking to. I'm not sure if that's as captain or in his personal capacity. He is on the verge of a suspension for Banana, should he be booked in this game. Oh, Fanny Siton. His ball in is a decent one. The flag has been raised.
can see Zwane slowly coming into the game, realizing that there is so much pressure in him.
Clear offside though.
Clear offside though, but he is driving Golden Arrows forward, very clever, being aware to the type of space that he occupies on the pitch and where the opponents are, and be able to use his trickery to bypass the pressing line.
Only Maluleke has had more touches today than Zwane for Lamontville Golden Arrows. Leading in terms of how many times they've been on the ball, Magawana and Terence Mashiko. Now it's been won here by Maluleke. Sitole, he could wrap it up. Sitole! And for the second time since his introduction, Darren Keat has denied him one-on-one.
Good play there, good counter attack there from Golden Arrows with the fresh legs that have been introduced. Sitole with the second opportunity of the game that could have buried the game for Golden Arrows.
Well, this is the risk for Durban City, having to introduce all these attacking changes. Arrows will start to have a little more joy up top. Kept in play. Trying to force the throw in, which does eventually come.
Earlier on, you can see he put his head down using his speed. Yeah, he uses his wicker foot as well. Darren Keat, he has to force there to use his legs to be able to stop. You can see also the frustration from Coach Mangova, realizing that the game could have been buried with all those two opportunities that Sitole got to achieve.
So Domingo with just over 5 minutes to try and influence the game. Here's his first involvement, wins the corner. A couple of 1-1 draws in their two previous meetings. Will they play out now to a third stalemate? Goal! Yeah. Over to Mabaso. Zwane, Sitole, flick from Lubamba straight through to Mayova. Zwane, the crowd are really enjoying it every time he gets on the ball. Maluleke's delivery, getting away from Nguse. Zwane feels a little tug on his shorts, but continues on. The advantage had elapsed. Zwane again. Lukele, Nguse. Lukele. Staying upright quite brilliantly, and eventually does go down. The play continues. Durban City still in possession. Domingo, Lubamba with space. it just to the edge of the area for Sifumba. Sitole gets back inside. Sitole doing brilliantly to hang on to the ball.
Yeah, spoke about it. They need to be more in control of the ball, to slow the tempo down and have a couple of passes just to take out the steam from the pressure that they've been under from Durban City.
There's a chance here for arrows. Oh, wow, that is ever so close. Nguse sees his effort spin away from goal. City will go again. Lubamba just can't get past Maluleke. Jalai overhits his cross. And comes across, away by Kumara. Inside the final minute of regulation time. In fact, we're very close to the 90 now. Waiting to learn how many additional minutes will be added. The board about to go up.
The second
5 minutes of injury time to play. Manana writhing around after being caught here by Nguse.
We've seen those in this game, those late tackles after the pass.
Now, if you didn't know what the scoreline was from the coach's energy and emotions, you might not think Arrows were in front.
It's true. And it's very rare to find Coach McGraw being animated like this. He really wants this team to come back into winning ways after that defeat, but also looking at also the opportunities as well that we created. If you want to kill the game off and be able just to stroke the ball around and control it and be having those passing lines that you need, but with all the chances been wasted, sometimes they come back and haunt you at the end.
Keeping the right-hand flank of Durban City quiet. The longer they can keep Durban City in their own half, the better it is for Lamontville Golden Arrows. 3 minutes of injury time now remain. Wamba, back for Harbour. Gianni forward. Kwapeng. Loses out. They do get the free kick, and this is a fairly promising position. Somebody came away with it, but illegally so, according to referee Badi.
Moment again, maybe just push the big boys forward, just hang it in there, just in between the defenders, just behind the defenders and Maova, just to force Colorado's defenders to be able to, just defend looking at the goalpost. That's why anything can happen in that area.
Floated up, Maova comes for it, doesn't get anywhere near it. Still with Durban City and Domingo. I guess they successfully dealt with that danger. Now a corner to contend with. And worth reminding you that from set pieces, Arrows have conceded 5 times, that's not including corners. This season there have been 24 goals scored from free kicks, that's non-direct free kicks, and 21% of them have been conceded by Arrows. Now this is Jala, by Gian. Santlazani hits it clear. Rodada working it to the flank. Not much time remaining now for the visitors who still trail. Into the clutches of Maova. Long for Kwapeng, beaten in the air, Maloneke. It's not the best pass for Zwane, who has worked tirelessly today. November forced backwards. Only seconds remaining now. Arrows bounce back after suffering their biggest defeat of the season. They get victory in the KZN derby and a little bit of revenge after Durban City knocked them out of the Nedbank Cup last month. But more importantly, it means that regardless of what happens elsewhere over the course of the remaining games this weekend, Arrows will remain in the top 8.
Yeah, will remain in the top 8. Great comeback. Of course, there was a lot of opportunities that went astray from Golden Arrows. They could have punished more with Sitoli coming in the second half, making a difference, but you can see the type of work that they put it in. This man should be pleased with the results. As to the performance, you keep it moving, Grant.
Durban City remain where they started the day in 6th place, and Lamontville Golden Arrows remain in 8th, but that will serve them just fine. It's the 2 youngest players in the team today who combined for the goal. Ntlantla setting up Isak Cisse. Cisse scoring for the first time since November. Lovely finish. That's all that separates these 2 sides. And in the 10th KZN derby of the season, it's the 5th time that we've seen a 1-0 victory. And Lamontville Golden Arrows in their 5th provincial derby of the season, winning just their 2nd. Let's confirm it for you here at the Kings Willetini Stadium. A first half goal from the Ivorian Isak Cisse sees Lamontville Golden Arrows beat Durban City by a goal to 0.
Yeah, entertaining game with Arrows potentially would have wanted to have scored a few more goals in this particular one, but nonetheless they walk away with the 3 points and a 1-0 victory. Tlatla Zwane is the player of the match for today. Tlatla, I'm sure Jabulile Mfethu, you put in a good shift out there today.
What can I say? It's been a long time since I've been playing, so I had to stand out today. So coach told me that I have to come back into the game and play and keep on grinding, because I think what let me down in the first round was my lack of consistency, but I'm getting it back day by day now.
For you, what is the main focus in order to make sure that you get that consistency and you play at the level that you know you can?
Focus, keep on pushing, grinding, listen to the coaches because they know what's happening in the game. Yeah.
Of course, Coach Mangoba, I'm sure, has played a big part in just lifting you guys' spirits after that disappointment against the Orlando Pirates. Uteni coming into this game, and what did you feel as a team you needed to do well to get the result that you wanted?
We have to be monsters, mentally tough machines. That's the only thing I can say.
Of course, I mean, just to, I know I'm letting you in on a bit of a secret here. Letlehonolo Majoro, former striker in this league, one of the best that's played. Take me before I came to you. Hey, Ubalo number 41, Uinkinga. We need to see more of him. What do you say when you hear such comments from legends?
It's motivation. Above everything else, it's motivation for me. Hearing that from a legend, so I have to just pick up my game and look into the future.
And I have to ask you, now you guys are well within the top 8. What is the ambitions of the club, and what's the aim to make sure that you guys keep that position that you want?
Consistency is the only word I can use. Consistency. That's the only word I can use for now. Consistency. Just try and stay at the top.
Well done today.
Thank you.
And Ntantla Zwane, the player of the match, happy with his overall efforts, and of course calling for more consistency, and he'll want to make sure that he keeps doing that. So Coach Mangoba Mngiti joins me now, and I have to start by asking him about something that he asked me, that he just mentioned before the game, Coach. You said you wanted them to be more ruthless. You could have been 3 or 4 today in that second half.
That's our biggest Achilles of late. We are not taking our chances, but one must appreciate the win first, because the anxiety levels after the previous result, maybe the players were not as focused. They just wanted the game more, and as a result they end up being too anxious. But I was happy with the result, and I was happy with the effort from the boys.
Of course, you know, you mentioned the result itself. A big character test for the boys, like you mentioned. There would have been that anxiety. What are the things that you were really happy with today, if we're looking at the positives?
I think we started the game quite well. Our structure, we respected the structure. We respected our principles, and our build-ups were very effective. We got to the other half very easily. But unfortunately, what I asked for, that focus in the final third, is what let us down, because I think we got a lot of very good situations that could have easily given us the 5 that we got against Pirates, but that's football for you.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Coach Mangoba Mngiti, they're just summing things up well. Happy with the 3 points, but maybe could have had a few more goals. Coach Pitso Hlahla joins me now. Coach Pitso, frustrating one for you. I know in that first half especially, you wanted more desire from the troops, and maybe just not your day today.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I think the first half, we did not have the right mentality. We did not have the right desire and commitment. But having said that, I thought, as bad as we were, but we created like 2 chances maybe to score. I remember there was one pass from Terence to Masego. It just went a little bit further from Masego. I remember there was also a counter-attack where we should have made a better decision, Masego and Trevor. That was the first half for us. Those are the only 2 good things that we did. Coming to the second half, I believe you also saw that we're a different team. The mentality, the desire were there. We started playing the ball around. We started imposing our style of play. We started dominating. I know Golden Arrows also had chances, but look, we were bound to open up because we were looking to get an equalizer. But yeah, I think it's a game whereby we would love to forget about the first half and concentrate more on the positives. That's where they're in the second half.
I'm sure lots of frustration with regards to, I guess, what has been a positive season in many regards, but when you don't quite step up to the plate the way you guys know you should be, how frustrating can that be?
It's frustrating, but you must understand one thing. It's the same thing that we always talk in the team, that the season is not over. You can have a good season, and then if you don't finish well, all is going to be forgotten. So right now we need to go to the drawing board and also preach the same verse we are talking about. The season is still on. We need to finish well. We need to finish better than this. But look, we became a better team in the second half. There's quality in our team. Once we have the right mentality, I believe we will finish well.
Coach, hard luck today.
Thank you.